Welcome back, everyone. We've got a really interesting deep dive for you today, and I'm really excited to get into it. We're going to be looking at the first chapter of the Book of Psalms.
From the New Living Translation.
Yes. And a special thanks to you, the listener, for bringing this particular text to our attention. It's one that I know a lot of our listeners have been curious about, and it's a great place to start for anyone wanting to understand the Psalms more deeply.
Absolutely.
We're starting right at the beginning of Book 1, which goes from Psalms 1 through 41. But today we are all about Psalm 1.
Just Psalm 1?
Yeah. So let's jump right in. What's striking me right off the bat is the strong contrast that you see right from the opening lines. I mean, verse 1, it talks about joy, but it's a specific kind of joy.
Right. It's not just any happiness.
No.
It's a joy specifically tied to avoiding certain negative influences. And it even lists them out. The advice of the wicked, the company of sinners, and the seat of mockers.
Yeah.
Like 3 distinct categories of negativity to steer clear of.
And I feel like it's not just about avoiding bad people, right? It's about being careful about the kind of input that you're letting into your life.
Absolutely. You know, it's about being mindful of the advice you take, the company you keep, and even the kind of humor you entertain. All of those things shape your outlook and your actions.
For sure. And so then verse 2 comes along and offers kind of the positive counterpart to this. Like, it's not just about avoiding the bad, but actively pursuing what's good and finding delight in that.
Precisely. It says that the delight of the righteous is in the law of the Lord, and in his law do they meditate day and night. So it's about immersing yourself in something positive, something that nourishes your soul and guides your steps.
Like making space for the good by clearing away the bad.
Yeah, I like that. It's like decluttering your mind and your life to make room for what truly matters.
Totally. Okay, so then verse 3 comes along and we get this really vivid imagery. What does it say? Like, those who delight in the law are like trees planted along the riverbank, bearing fruit in every season. Their leaves never wither, and they prosper in all they do.
I love that image.
It's so evocative.
It is. It's so vibrant and full of life. You can just picture this tree, deeply rooted, drawing nourishment from a constant source of water, thriving and producing fruit no matter what the external conditions are.
It's like it's saying that if you are drawing your sustenance from the right source, from something truly life-giving, then you're going to be able to weather any storm.
Yes. And not just survive, but actually flourish. You'll be fruitful and productive, and your life will have a lasting impact.
That's powerful. And then the contrast in verse 4, oh man, I mean, it's like night and day. It says, the wicked are like worthless chaff scattered by the wind. Talk about a powerful image. It's like going from this strong, sturdy tree to something so light and insubstantial that it just gets blown away with the slightest breeze.
It is a stark contrast. And it really highlights the difference in the very nature of these two paths. One is deeply rooted, grounded, connected to a source of life. The other is flimsy, rootless, easily dispersed, and ultimately without substance.
Right. And I think that's what verses 5 and 6 really drive home. Like, this isn't just a matter of personal preference or taste.
Right.
There are real consequences to the choices you make about where you find your joy and where you seek your guidance.
Exactly. Verse 5 says that the wicked will not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. It's a statement about ultimate belonging, about who will find true acceptance and security in the end.
And then verse 6 just kind of puts a capstone on the whole thing. It says, for the Lord watches over the path of the godly, but the path of the wicked leads to destruction. Like, it's presenting these two paths as divinely observed realities.
Yes. It's not just a human perspective, but a cosmic one. There's a sense of divine order and justice at work.
Definitely. And when we hear about the law of the Lord, I mean, we have to remember that this psalm was written in a very specific historical and cultural context.
Absolutely.
So, you know, back then, the law referred to the Torah, the first 5 books of the Hebrew Bible, which were the primary source of guidance and instruction for the Israelites.
Right. It was their foundational text, their moral compass, their guide to living a life that was pleasing to God.
And so for us, living in a completely different time and place, it's helpful to think about what that law of the Lord represents for us today. Where are we finding our foundational guidance? What are the principles and values that we're using to navigate our lives and make decisions?
It's a great question. And I think it's one that each of us has to answer for ourselves.
Right.
But I think the psalm gives us some clues. Remember those contrasting images? The tree planted by the water, bearing fruit in every season, versus the chaff just scattered by the wind. What kind of knowledge are we seeking? Are we rooting ourselves in something deep and enduring? something that will nourish us and help us to grow strong and resilient, even in the face of challenges? Or are we chasing after fleeting trends and superficial ideas that ultimately leave us feeling empty and unfulfilled?
That's such a powerful way to think about it. It's like, what kind of fruit are we hoping to see in our own lives? And what riverbank are we planting ourselves beside to ensure that consistent nourishment and growth?
It's a fundamental question this ancient text invites us to consider in our own contemporary context.
Yeah. So really, the core message here, right from the start of the Psalms, is about this choice we face. Where do we find our joy? Where do we seek our guidance? And the Psalm makes it clear that these choices have profound consequences.
They do. They lead us either to a life of sustained well-being and flourishing, or to a path that ultimately ends in loss and destruction.
Powerful stuff. Thanks for bringing this to our attention and letting us dig into it with you.
My pleasure. Always happy to dive into these timeless texts and see what wisdom they hold for us today.
Until next time.
See you then.